Good evening and welcome. Today is December 2nd, 2025. It is 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Bosch-Freilich meeting room in Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, would you please take the roll?
Commissioners Braun.
Here.
Rohr.
Here.
Schoberg.
Here.
Heinchan.
Here.
Mayor Freilich.
Here. Now we will stand, remove all headgear for the Pledge of Allegiance. Jonathan Fleischer from the Real Property Assessing Department of Mandan will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jonathan. Now we'll move to announcements, and we're going to skip to number 2 on the announcements. Jordan Singer, will you update us on the former high school?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm just here to do a little update on the former high school. The demolition will be starting shortly. I just spoke with the contractor on the project, Steve Hosier. He's out of Minnesota. They have the contract for the school demo. They're working on getting all the necessary fluids, different things out of the building currently. They'll be doing some interior work next week. For the public's knowledge, there's going to be a fence going up around to secure the property, and then around the week of the 15th, they're going to be starting to do the actual demo of the existing high school project, or I should say the school. And this should go on for several months. The one entrance exit that they'll be using is that main 8th entrance exit. That will be the one-way path onto 6th and then down and out of town with the materials that they have. It's my understanding this isn't a large-scale, very quickly done thing. These guys are the methodical in the sections and different parts they take down, but just for the public's knowledge and just to be aware that it's going to be starting, and they will get going on it in short order. So I can take any questions too if you guys have any, but that's my announcement for this week.
Any questions for Jordan?
Jordan, quick question. Assuming they'll come to our landfill?
No. They're not. They are not bringing any materials. I believe most of the concrete and materials will be recycled, and the other materials, specialty materials we call them, our landfill can't take, so they'll be going elsewhere. So I don't know if there will be a whole lot of any material going to, but from meeting them, they tend to lean on the recycling of a lot of materials. So they're used to this, and they do it a lot. So yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
We will move on to construction project updates. Jarek?
Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. Let me just pull up my presentation here. Less and less information for these construction project updates as we kind of roll into the winter season. I do have a Memorial Highway update along with another Memorial Highway video if you guys are interested in taking a look at the current temporary traffic pattern for the winter shutdown. Let this roll for a second here. You can see it's performs pretty well, so just kind of wanted to show that off. Water main has been connected and looped since our last meeting. The sanitary sewer winter bypass was completed, which was a necessary improvement to be made for winterization. We thought that the sanitary sewer would be completely done before winter, so kind of a temporary alternative needed to be identified and completed. Minor items may still be worked on, such as cleanup and miscellaneous tasks, so you might still see construction crews out there active with the project, but nothing major will be going on, and the winterization is complete. Wanted to reiterate that snow removal plans include the mainline 3-lane roadway and the businesses' approaches, and they should be clear by 8 a.m. Once spring comes around, where the start is weather dependent, but always hopeful that it's April that we'll be starting up again. And then also, since our last meeting, the West Half project bid, and I do have a an item on today's agenda related to that, so I was planning on discussing that further later. Any questions on Memorial Highway?
Any questions for Jarek? Thank you, Jarek.
All right.
Well,
Collins
no,
Avenue
it's all right.
Reservoir, since our last meeting, it has mostly been, the work has been mostly tank draining and site backfilling and compaction. And the tank draining is something that people may have seen on Collins Avenue. They had initially been draining it into one of the storm sewer inlets, and actually I think it might still be draining in there today. I drove by it on my way here. So that is what everybody's been seeing there. Reiterate, winter shutdown. New reservoir will be online late November, early December now. They're not quite finished draining that yet. So demolition will begin in the fall and continue through winter. And then exterior finishes will finish in the spring, which include retaining wall work and reservoir painting. Questions on that one?
Jarek, we talked about this Monday, I think, but some of that water that's people are seeing, that's from sanitizing process inside the new reservoir. Did I hear you right with that?
Mayor Commissioner Schoberg, yes, that's correct. The disinfectant that they use to clean the tank is different than the disinfection process that we use for kind of long-term disinfection through our regular water. And I think they could mix the two, but they don't want to. They chose not to. Just drain it, fill it up with our normal water, and go forward with that.
Thank you.
Yep. 2025 street reconstruction, the only update I really have here is that we put together a communication piece that we're planning on posting on social media and our website, and also send out to the folks in the reconstruction area. This should just be kind of outline what the winter shutdown process was like, and then what to expect for 2026. So that communication should be getting out to the folks that are impacted by the project the most. Questions on that one?
Any questions?
And then the last one I have on here is our 2026 street reconstruction project. We have a public input meeting on December 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Red Trail Elementary. Since that first public input meeting, we've talked with property owners, we've done site walkthroughs, and tried to incorporate as many of the improvements that were necessary in the area, and we've kind of nailed down scope and what we think the cost will be, and that will be the main item of discussion at Thursday's meeting. That's all I have for project updates. Any questions on that one?
Any questions? Thank you, Jarek.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 4, Snowplow Art Partnership and Storm Response Update. Shane?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I just wanted to first highlight a cool community engagement activity we put together really last minute with a lot of support of the Mandan Public School elementary schools. Got some pictures up here. We took all six of the snow plows to the elementary schools and let the elementary schools kind of design and paint them. Was a great effort. Idea came up from a crew lead, Jim Balavic, and Superintendent Brian Dirks, and we pulled it off last minute and got them all painted right before the snow hit Tuesday morning. So got some pretty cool pictures, and the kids were super engaged. They got to see it, got to draw on it. Now they get to see their plows around their school. So it was just a really fun thing, and now the kids can say I touched the plow or seen the plow when they see it go by. And next year we'll be a little bit more prepared before and maybe try to do it in September. Recovery efforts for the last 2 storms, we are completely cleaned up. We will be out and about the next couple days doing some cleanup from cars that weren't moved and such. So public announcement, if you do have cars in the street that were there and there's ruts around them, if you get them moved, we're going to be out trying to clean up and get ready for the next storm. So that's about all I got for you guys tonight. But yeah, it was a cool project.
Okay, thank you, Shane. Good job. We're going to go up to item number 1, Mandan Progress Organization Holiday Lights Update. Matt?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here tonight. Talk about the holiday lights on Main and our successful grand lighting we had on Friday, Black Friday of last week. It snowed and we dealt with it, but it made for a very magical moment. A huge shout out to Mandan Public Works and Mandan Police and Fire for all of the assistance they had helping us with that. We did a lot of scrambling and a lot of phone conversations on Friday morning to see what we were going to do, and we made it work, and it turned out to be a great night. We had roughly around 2,500, 3,000 people that attended the lighting throughout the evening, so it was a great opportunity. I don't think many kids have an opportunity to make a snow angel in the middle of Main Street, but with the fresh covering of snow, it made for a very perfect covering on Main. This year, a little bit different. We brought the big man Santa in on the ladder truck from Fire Station 1 with Chief Bitts, drove him in, and he was gracious to have that covered protection as he came down Main Street. But we're glad he made it with the snow to help with our grand lighting. We had a lot of smiling faces. Here's the big man and the missus welcoming us to the lighting. And we had a nice little stage on Main Street, so great to have. Obviously, here's another picture with yourself, Mayor, Commissioner Scott from the Parks Department, and Commissioner Morrell from the county. Just some other fun photos here at the event. As you can see, the snow made for a pretty magical opening night of the lights. That is one of our new displays, the holiday tractor, which was provided by Farmers Union Insurance. Nice tractor you can climb up in, take photos from the cab, and also sit in the trailer in the back of it. This is the bird's eye view from the loft of the library, looking down on all that lovely snow. Hot chocolate being served by Copper Dog Cafe right here in Mandan. They'll be serving actually every night. We got every night sponsored by local businesses and the sponsors of the select sponsors of the holiday lights. So we'll have free hot chocolate every night from 6 to 8 at the holiday lights up until Christmas. And that's something you don't see every day, is a covered wagon. Well, you maybe saw it 100 years ago, but a covered wagon on Main Street pulling people with a fresh coating of snow. So great to see, and a lot of people enjoyed it. Some more great pictures. Full wagon of people. And this is our new second new display, our military tribute tree, which we have running. It was a project we've been working on for the last 4 years, finally came to fruition this year. And we received the funding from about 20 businesses from both Bismarck and Mandan that helped fund this particular project, with the lead being Dakota Community Bank and Trust, helping us to bring this to the community this year. So great display. We have it on every night, and it actually will be on in the morning during the morning commute as well, from about 6:30 to 8 in the morning. There's our lovely tree, and just some more pictures of the night. So again, we had a great grand lighting, great weather for it, but the holiday lights now are open. They're open every night from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. nightly, and that will go until January 10th is our final night of the lights. So upcoming on December 13th is we'll have the Santa Run. That'll be our next big event. So if you see a lot of Santas running on Main Street, don't be alarmed. It's part of our Santa Run event. Any questions from anyone?
I'd like to congratulate you and your staff. You did a great job. I would also like to thank the police department and the fire department and Public Works for their job in securing the area. It was a great night, and it was cool to see snow angels being made on Main Street. That was great. So good job.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it is a collaborative effort between all the agencies and ourselves to put and to host these events. So we're glad to have the collaboration.
Now, could you speak on the New Year's Eve fireworks?
Yes, I can. Yes. So we announced on Wednesday last week that we will be partnering with Pegasus Illuminations out of Mott, North Dakota, to host a fireworks show, a New Year's Eve fireworks show, which is going to be a world record attempt to fire off 2.5 million Roman candles as part of a show. This is something that has never been done before, so we're going to attempt this world record. It is going to be measured by Guinness Book. We'll be here for it. But that will take place on the evening of December 31st at 10 p.m. It will take place on a lot just south of the new Mandan High School parking lot. As part of the event itself, the fireworks have been sponsored by various fireworks companies for this show. But part of the effort is to fundraise for local veterans in the community. So the lots that are going to be at Mandan High School are going to be sold as a reserve type of system. And we're hoping to raise about $30,000, which will go towards the Wounded Warrior Project, the Western North Dakota Honor Flight. And then a fun connected piece that I think is we're working with the Mandan High School Marching Band. And we're going to use it as they're using it as a kickoff to their fundraising efforts for their 2027 appearance in the London New Year's Day Parade. So, got three great components. The Mandan High Marching Band will be the ones volunteering at the event. So you're going to see the band students helping to check people in, get them to their parking spots and whatnot. But it will be it's going to be a pretty cool event that's going to take place on December 31st.
Matt, how do people purchase a parking spot?
You can go right to our website at visitmandan.com. There's a big button right there that you can get your tickets. And they are limited because Mandan High School only has so many parking spots available.
How many parking spots do you have?
We have 900 spots that we'll be selling.
How many people are you expecting?
If we sell all 900 spots, probably around 3,000 people will be watching from the parking lot, and we expect another 2,000 to be watching from around the surrounding area.
Are you expecting anybody from out of town?
We are expecting both the CEO and the vice president of the firework company that sponsored the fireworks. It's the largest manufacturer of fireworks in the world. They are flying in from China to observe this show.
Okay.
Mayor Matt, what time? Maybe I missed. What's the time element on this? What time
On the
does it start?
show,
Yeah, what time is that supposed to start?
the fireworks show will take place at 10 p.m.
And what about the event itself? What's the start time for that?
We will open up parking at 7 p.m. So from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. people can park there at Mandan High School or arrive to get parked and in their spots.
Did you make arrangements with the Weather Bureau to make it nice for that?
I'm trying really hard.
We'll lose whatever influence you have on that one.
There you go.
So this show is choreographed, correct?
Yes, correct. This is a pyro musical style show, so it will be choreographed to a collection of musical selection, patriotic music selections that will take place. Unofficially, it's kind of Mandan's kickoff to the 250th U.S. celebrations.
So how do you hear the music if you're in the car?
They're working on a couple different options. We're trying to find out which one's going to work the best. But we're hoping to stream it through an FM radio station to everyone's vehicles, which would be the simplest. There is also an app that is available that can also be streamed. That particular music can be streamed to an app on a smart device.
Okay. Great. Lots of things to do in Mandan. Exciting things.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, we'll move on to, that concludes announcements. No public comments, Mr. Neubauer. So we will move on to the approval of the agenda. Commissioners?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Move on to agenda item F, the minutes from November 18th, City Commission meeting.
I move to approve the November 18th, 2025 Board of City Commission minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rohr, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun. Yes. Rohr.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Now we will move on to agenda item G, public hearing, consider a vacation of portion of Living Water Drive. Jordan?
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. I believe Rachel is on to discuss this one.
I'm here. Good evening, commissioners. This is a vacation request for part of Living Water Drive in Lot 1, Block 1, Living Water Edition, and Lot 1, Block 1, Evergreen Heights, 4th Edition. Thank you, Jordan. That is a super helpful exhibit to have up. So the request is to vacate the south 421.42 feet of Living Water Drive. This is associated with a final plat request that is in the consent agenda tonight. Essentially, the applicants are replatting the areas to the north and to the west of this right-of-way. And they are vacating the north portion of Living Water Drive with that plat in order to not leave a portion of the right-of-way in place while the remainder is vacated, and in order to ensure that it's vacated appropriately, with half of the 66-foot right-of-way going to the owner on the west, or the owner on the east, and the owners, plural, to be on the west. This was the most expedient way to do it, is in two separate pieces. So this request is just for the south 421.42 feet. And it has been advertised properly for the 4 weeks required. The east 33 feet will go to Lot 1, Block 1 of Living Water Drive, and the west 33 feet will go to Lot 1, Block 1 of Evergreen Heights, 4th Edition. The proposed final plat of Evergreen Heights 5th Edition, which is the plat that's in your consent agenda tonight, does clearly show which parts of that west 33 feet will be going to which new lots, which is probably overkill, but it's really nice to have that clarity. If this is approved, we do recommend that it is contingent on the approval and recordation of the Evergreen Heights 5th Edition plat, because if for whatever reason that plat was never recorded, this would then be a partial right-of-way vacation, which would not be something that city staff would be in favor of or would recommend. It kind of leaves a weird hanging piece. This property is not developed. The church to the east is addressed off of Living Water Drive, but because it's not developed, it is on the building and EMS list of buildings to be readdressed. And so that will come off of 19th. Then that will become an address on 19th. And so there should be no additional impacts to this being vacated. The proposed lots that would be created under the Evergreen 5th Edition are actually joining the lots further to the west, and so they'll take access off of 14th, and so they won't need Living Water Drive for access. We do recommend approval of this vacation of the south 421.42 feet of Living Water Drive. I think it's 421.49 feet of Living Water Drive, contingent on the final approval and recordation of Evergreen Heights 5th Edition. And I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Rachel?
Mayor and Rachel, you mentioned the readdressing of the Living Water, or the church. Do we have any background information on why that was addressed off Living Water Drive and not 19th when the approach looks like it's on 19th?
So, Mayor, Commissioner, my understanding is that it was platted as part of the Living Water Church development. And so I think it was assumed that at some point that road would go in and be built. And I'm really not sure otherwise, other than it was the street that they intended to access off of it at some point, and the address was put in that way.
Okay.
Mayor
Thank you.
Commissioner Heinchan, I believe too, the topography has somewhat of bearing to that. I know right before that, that access point they have off of 19th, there's a little bit of a hill. And I think just when they did this back then, they saw that was the best. And it's one of those things that just ends up slipping through the cracks on addressing. So, but it's been on our list for a long time to get changed if this ever happened, where we now have no Living Water Drive if this goes through. So,
Any other questions for Jordan and Rachel? If not, we will move to the public hearing, and we will open the public hearing. Do we have anybody that wants to comment on this? Second call. Third call. Public hearing is closed. Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I move to approve the vacation of the south 421.49 feet of Living Water Drive, contingent on the final approval and recordation of the Evergreen Heights 5th edition.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun. Yes. Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We will now move on to bids. Consider concurrence of award for the Memorial Highway West project. Jarek?
Mayor and Commissioners, on November 21st, the NDDOT, the North Dakota Department of Transportation, opened bids for the west half of the Memorial Highway project. There were 2 bids received, one from Northern Improvement and the other from Strata Corporation. The low bid came from Northern Improvement at $69,579,406.64. HDR prior to the bid opening had provided an estimate just under $64 million, so the low bid came about 9.1% higher than the engineer's estimate. I did have a chance since the preliminary agenda was posted, have an opportunity to look a little bit more at the financial impacts that has on the city. But at the time of the writing of the agenda, our estimated responsibility was $14.5 million essentially. If you do look further down in your packet, I did put together a spreadsheet that kind of shows the financial impact of this to the city in a few different ways. The top, you can see Northern Improvement was 9.1% higher. You can see some of the high bid items here, just to get a sense of where some of the overages come from and some of the savings come from. Ultimately, it balanced out to be overestimate. Reviewing our outside funding, I put outside funding in quotes because one of these is a citywide assessment and one of them is ARPA, which is basically, halfway local. The other is State Water Commission funding. Because of the high bid was mostly due to water items, the percentage cost share that we're expecting from the State Water Commission also goes up because we were expecting still a 60% share with them. So, I'm trying to show this in this box right here. Sanitary items, this bid was put us 8.2% under where we were expecting to be from last year's estimate. Street and storm, we were 4.5% lower from where we were expected to be with last year's estimate, and then with water, we were 33.2% over. So, the local responsibilities from the NDDOT's perspective, it's 9.6% increase in the estimated local responsibilities. But when you take into account that State Water Commission funding will increase. I recalculated that to be closer to 3.3% more than what we were expecting last year. And then as to how that how the bid affects individual properties, I took a sample of 5 random properties around town, or that are tiered on the project, and looked at how they were affected. You can see the sanitary special assessments will go down, the water assessments go up, and the roadway assessments go down. So, depending on the improvements that each individual property sees, will result in their estimated assessment either going up or going down, according to our current estimate or assessment formula. Kind of a complicated way to look at it, but I wanted to put it in several different terms so that the commission could make an educated decision on this. It's our request, or it's our recommendation that I did make an updated motion that I don't know made into the packet, but I did update the motion to concur in awarding the contract to Northern Improvement Company, enter into the cost participation and maintenance agreement with the NDDOT, and to submit a cost share request for the water main and sanitary sewer to the Department of Water Resources. If that's something I can reiterate, but that's our recommendation at this time, and I can try and answer any questions.
Jarek, what's the construction season look like for next year? As how, because we're not done with the east half. So what's it going to look like?
Mayor and Commissioners, our expectation is that the first item on the west half project that the contractor will be working on is the storm sewer along 3rd Street, west of the main line corridor. They'll be working on large diameter storm sewer pipe along 3rd Street that then turns up Riverwood Avenue. And that's the critical path item for this project. We also expect next year for the contractor to work on the intersection of Main Street and Memorial Highway, but we wouldn't expect that to start until after July 4th. So kind of a staggered start to those 2 different items, but those are the 2 major items that we're expecting for next year. And I believe there's provisions that prevent any mainline traffic control devices associated with West Half project next year. So that's our expectation, or that's my understanding at this time. If that's wrong, I'll ask consultants, they'll correct me, and I'll correct myself to you.
Okay. Any other questions for Jarek?
Jarek, the current contractor on the east phase or east portion, they're going to still continue to finish their responsibility for that particular portion of the project, right?
Mayor and Commissioner Schoberg, yes, they do still have a completion date that they are obligated to stick to. So.
Okay. Thank you, Jarek. Commissioners?
I'll move to concur in awarding the contract to Northern Improvement Company and enter into the cost participation and maintenance agreement with the North Dakota DOT and to submit a cost share request for the water main and sanitary sewer to the Department of Water Resources.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items you would like removed? If not, I would entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as is.
I'll make that motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes, we have no old business. We'll move on to new business. Consider an engineering service agreement amendment for the raw water intake project. Jarek.
Mayor and Commissioners, yep, we have a kind of an old project that we've been active on for several years. In the past year, we have experienced some sandbar movement in the river, and tonight's item was meant to give a general update on that sandbar, or on that situation, and then our ultimate action, suggested action, is to enter into an amendment, or to approve an amendment to the agreement that we have with AE2S related to support in addressing this problem. Laith from AE2S will be here to present information here, and I can try and answer any questions afterwards if you need.
All right. Thanks, Jarek. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I wanted to provide a little bit of background to the raw water intake, just because we haven't been in front of you talking about it for a while, related to the Commission agenda item in front of you today. So just a reminder, the intake was constructed over the last 5 years. It was put into service in 2023. The contractor was finishing up some of the remaining construction items over this last summer. And as Jarek mentioned, we started noticing some operational changes. As we started doing some investigation into that, noticed that one of the sandbars had started migrating. So the sandbar migrated over the existing intake screens, and then that caused some restricted water flow. So this picture shows the intake pump station in the background, along with the shoreline, and then the intake structure itself consists of 4 different barrel screens. So it's just some different screening material to keep bigger stuff out, let the water come in. And then it's got a protective crib structure around the outside with the sand migrating in. That made it harder for water to get through and into the actual intake. And then you can kind of see or get a general sense for where and how that sand was moving in. Immediately after identifying what was going on, worked with city staff and refinery staff to maintain service to the city. This consisted of a few different things that we worked on. We had a commercial diving company come up to do some inspection and dredging around the intake structure to try to move some of the sand out of the way. As they were doing that, also mobilized a longer backhoe that you can actually see in the picture. The bank along the edge was kind of reshaped to provide better access for that backhoe. And it was a combination of the diving company and then the long arm backhoe that was able to remove some of the sand to maintain service. As the sand continued to progress, pivoted a little bit and installed a temporary screen extension. So we actually removed one of the screens and put it further downriver. And I've got a few slides a little bit later that kind of shows that. But immediately started working with city staff to maintain service. A little bit of additional background. This was absolutely a surprise. We spent a long time studying this location to try to find a good spot for an intake where this type of thing wouldn't happen. There's a lot of historical imagery from when the dam was constructed, going back to the 1960s that show this as a good location with a good channel. This particular image was from July of 2021 during construction. A little hard to see, but there at the time was a good channel moving through this area. In addition to that, as part of the design process, we actually did river surveys where we had a boat go out, do some underwater investigation with where the channel was. Did that, I think, 4 different times over 10 years. Each time kind of pinpointed this as still a good location to do. Unfortunately, the river is dynamic, constantly shifting, and even with careful planning, nature can be unpredictable. As the problem became apparent, we started using a drone just to monitor the extent of the sandbar migration. This was one of the initial pictures early August, kind of showing the sandbar mass upriver. You can see the intake pump station in the lower left and kind of how the sandbar forms. The notch that was in there, those were due to the dredging activities to keep the screen open. And I guess just to point out some of the benching that we did along the bank along the bank. And then this is more recent, late November. You can see how the sand continues to kind of migrate along the edge. So the intake structure is currently covered. We do have an extension that took one of the screens further downriver, and that's currently what we're using to provide service to the city. This better shows a diagram of what that looks like. So we kind of sketched in where the sandbar was or is, along with the intake structure, and it's basically an extended line with one of the screens on that's further downriver. And that's currently what we're using right now to provide service to the city. Continuing to monitor, sending a drone up. We'll get additional photos tomorrow as we continue to monitor and make sure that service is maintained. So those are some of the immediate things that we're taking care of. Some of the agenda items in front of you tonight are some other near-term improvements. So as part of the original design, we looked at what's called an airburst system. These are sometimes provided for river intakes where you take compressed air in a cylinder and you're able to focus a concentrated shot of air at the screen, and this helps with removing sand, debris, sticks, twigs, ice, things like that that might build up on it. During the course of the design, for different reasons, ultimately decided not to include it. Based on current funding packages, this is still eligible to be considered included under the current funding package and provides a good tool to help with some of the things that we're currently anticipating. In addition to that, the bank was significantly modified from what it originally was. Part of this would also include working with the contractor to restabilize the bank so it could be used in the future again if needed. This slide gives just a high-level overview of some of the additional expenditures that are in front of you for consideration. We're currently working with the contractor to provide pricing for the work to furnish and install the airburst system along with stabilizing the bank. Unfortunately, we don't have pricing from the contractor tonight, so that's why it's not part of the official commission agenda item. But that'll be coming on a future meeting. And then what is in front of you right now is just continued engineering services support for the airburst system and ongoing support for the city. Just a reminder that the project's currently funded by a state water commission grant up to 60%, and then this is a joint city refinery project, so any of the remaining cost has been split between the city and the refinery at 20%. So ultimately looking at roughly a $197,000 cost to the city. Big picture for the overall budget, costs are still under what the overall budget amount is, and if these are approved as presented, still looking at having $470,000 in contingency in the original budget. Even with the airburst system, it's a good tool that will help, but it still might not be the long-term fix for this. Looking down the road for long-term potential improvements, we are working with city staff, and we'll be talking to the refinery as well about considering possible modifications to the existing intake just to improve resiliency. Historical data shows that this is still a good spot. Reality today is not the case. Want to try to find the best long-term fix for that, and unfortunately that means taking another look at things. DWR staff has indicated that they would like to consider this a clean new project, which means that we would go through the application process and apply for additional State Water Commission cost share assistance on that, and ultimately what the modifications are going to be are to be determined. That's what that initial study would be. So the general schedule, near term, the airburst system and site restoration, we're currently working on that now. We issued a work change directive, which is an official notification to the contractor to order the equipment just to get that going as quickly as we can. Lead time on that is likely 4 to 5 months out. So when that shows up on site, contractor will get that installed. So we're looking at April, May, June timeframe for that. Then as far as the long-term portion of that, targeting submitting a State Water Commission application in December after we get commission approval and present that to this group. and then anticipate we would find out if we're successful for funding in February, and then that would start the study. That would be a 4 to 5 month window with potential modifications going through final design, bidding, and construction after that. So in summary, as we stand tonight, just looking for improvement or at least consideration of the amendment for ongoing engineering support services, and then just setting the stage in the future. We would have a change order with the current raw water intake contractor to actually perform the work, along with authorization to submit an application to the State Water Commission for consideration for the study, and then also likely a task order to go through the study and work on figuring what the best modification might be. So with that, would be happy to answer any questions.
Mayor Patrick, does the winter ice and the breaking of the ice and the ice flows, how it goes through the winter, is that add to the impediment, or does it change how things can happen there with that sandbar?
Mayor, Commissioner Rohr, it does, and it's hard to understand exactly how that'll impact it. Typically, when the ice forms, the river actually increases and gets deeper. Currently working on contingency planning and have a few plans in place in case it gets to that point.
So I presume there's a continuing monitoring of the ice then as it goes on, so you know where you are with that then. Who does that?
Mayor, Commissioner Rohr, correct. So we're currently working with city staff. They have remote sensors to monitor if there's any significant changes in how things are operating. And then in addition to that, we're sending a drone up weekly to monitor how things are shifting, and we'll continue to do that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Lath?
Mayor and Lath, Lath, I like the timeline. I guess my questions are pertaining to the contract or the agreement itself. On the reimbursable expenses for things like transportation, mileage, those things, printouts, are those included in this amendment, or are those reimbursable above and beyond all the site visits and things that you do as part of this agreement?
Mayor, Commissioner Heinschon, those are included in the number that's presented.
Okay. The only other question I would have is, due to the timeline, looks like 17 months, some of the timelines that are outlined here in the document. Personally, I would like to wait until the first of the year, because the agreement does say that labor rates could be changed, or subject to change January 1st. And since we're close to the 1st right now, I would like to wait until we vote on this, because I think the timeline is pretty long, and so a few weeks to see what the rates would be January 1st is where I would like to wait, but that'd be my stance on that.
I guess, Mayor, Commissioner Heinschon, if I could add, the amount put in front of the commission tonight included that. It was anticipated that would stretch into 2026, so the dollar amount, that's the total that's being requested.
But the rates could go up.
Correct, Commissioner, but the total dollar amount would stay the same.
Okay.
Don't we have two parts here, right? Are we waiting for, we're waiting for the bid 3 weeks from Swanberg?
Mayor, correct. So we're
But this is just your part.
Mayor, correct.
Okay. Commissioners? Any further questions for Lath? Okay, thank you. What are your wishes, Commissioners?
I'll move to approve amendment number 5 with AE2S for engineering services related to the raw water intake project as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinschon,
No.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to item number 2, consider the inmate housing agreement for Burley Morton Detention Center. Chief Ziegler.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, what I bring forward tonight is the inmate housing agreement for the Burley Morton Detention Center. That's the location where we will house prisoners, and our local judge can sentence people to jail there. To keep in mind with this agreement, this is only on B misdemeanor charges. Anything that's above a B misdemeanor charge would go to district court, which would be Morton County's responsibility. So this agreement is just for the city. It's not for everything. The major change in this that brought this back forward, because it's a renewing every year unless there's changes brought forward, Burley County brought forward this because the inmate daily rate was going to go from $75 excuse me, to $100 per inmate. In reviewing this agreement, section 16 had some questions in it on medical services, and some of the questions that were brought up was, is this obligating the city to expenses that we shouldn't be obligated for when it comes to medical expenses? So myself and there was a group of us that met with Burley County Sheriff and his staff to discuss this. And what came out of this is to go ahead and approve this as is with the contingency of before March 31st, they bring back an amended agreement, changing the medical services where it's less, I'm lost for words, but less impactful to us on the budgetary side, where it's not obligating us to medical expenses that we're not obligated to pay. I hope I explained that correctly.
Why do we have to approve this and then wait for the amendment till the end of March?
Mr. Mayor, because this is a new agreement with the new charges on it, if we don't approve this, then Burley Morton does not have to take our inmates, and then we'd have to find another location until we do sign a new agreement with them.
Okay, but why March 31st?
We wanted to give them, Mr. Mayor, we wanted to give them time to get it right, because they have, I want to say they have like almost 30 different entities that they have the similar agreement with, that they're going to have to change that medical service with. So they have to kind of get with everybody to let them know this change is coming. So it's not something that could just get it done before January 1st.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief? Okay. What are your wishes?
I'll move to approve the inmate housing agreement with the BMDC as presented, with the understanding that BMDC will revise Section 16 regarding medical services for specificity and bring proposed amendments to the City Commission for consideration and approval on or before March 31st, 2026.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to agenda item L, resolution and ordinances. Consider adoption of resolution for the 2025 Morton County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. Pat Martin.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I'm requesting approval of adoption for the updated multi-hazard mitigation plan that we've been working on for basically the past 10 months. Just some items that I wanted to cover and why it's important for adoption at the local level. The first one would be for regulatory compliance and funding eligibility. So by adopting this plan as a city body, we become eligible for grant funding through FEMA. Without the adoption, we lose out on that. We also would lose out on disaster relief funding if we did experience a disaster here locally. Just wanted to commend the community on their involvement in this plan. Just to give you an example, it's our stakeholder group was very broad in the sense we had private entities, public entities, nonprofits, basically representation from across the community, including our citizens. Interestingly enough, we had surveys that we passed out or asked the citizens to complete regarding mitigation projects that they seem necessary or deemed necessary. And we've received 995 surveys back, which is a record for, it doesn't sound like a lot considering our population numbers, but it's pretty significant. So we were happy to see that, as well as our emergency response agencies here locally. Great participation. Kind of the idea behind mitigation projects is to reduce the impact that a disaster or an incident may have. So kind of our latest studies show that for every $1 spent in a mitigation project funding, we save $4 on the back end of that, which ultimately impacts, jurisdictions, citizens, property, things like that. So we see that as a value. Moving forward, I guess, so what'll happen is we have, the plan will go up to the state for approval. And then once it's approved by the state, it goes to FEMA for their approval. So we're looking at probably January at the latest, at the speed of government at the federal level right now, especially with FEMA. So if anything changes with the plan that you adopt today as it's written, there is a kind of a key point in the resolution that it's assumed that you would adopt that change. So we don't have to come back if there are any changes. So basically what we're looking at too, once the plan is adopted or approved by FEMA, we're going to take a look at prioritizing projects specifically towards our critical infrastructure. We found that a locale's ability to maintain functionality across the community, specifically with your emergency response agencies, shelters, things like that, kind of lessen that impact. So I think with your approval, that's kind of what we'll take a look at for the city of Mandan is updating and protecting or looking at projects that will protect that critical infrastructure. I do believe in your packet there, I enclosed, I think it was 18 projects that were identified for the city of Mandan. And a lot of those obviously include that critical infrastructure that I just spoke about. So, yeah, I thank you for your consideration, and I stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Patrick?
So Pat, excuse me, Pat, this includes the other communities in Morton County who are involved with each one of those meetings and with this planning, correct?
Mr. Mayor and Commissioner Schoberg, that's correct. Basically, every local entity, and including the county as a whole. So we're talking City of Mandan, Almont. I just was out at Almont last night to get their adoption. New Salem, Hebron, Glen Olin, as well as the rural representation across the board.
So it's a holistic approach to the whole county, which encompasses water, obviously, and tornado, wildfires, that type of thing.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Schoberg. So I don't know if I don't think I enclosed it in the packet, but what the stakeholder group kind of took a look at for each municipality was what man-made threats and hazards are most prevalent. Based on historical factors, it's pretty common across the county, whether it's the city of Almont or the city of Mandan. We take a look at severe winter weather, right? Severe summer storms, drought, wildfire, things like that. So those are the common ones across. The city of Mandan is a little bit different in the sense that we did talk about, as well as our events that are housed here throughout the summer and the winter, that MPO sponsors and the city sponsors. So we took a look at that as well, try to build some infrastructure into that, whether it's protection, staffing, things of that nature.
Thank you.
So while, while it's broad in that sense, it's also, we did take a hard look at each community and their special needs.
In looking at some of the 18 things for Mandan specifically, I think we have initiated some of those. I can't rattle off the exact number off the top of my head, but I think the city staff's doing quite an admirable job of paving the way. So congrats to our department heads on all of them on this, and that includes everything. So every department head needs to be congratulated for helping pave the way for this, and this will be in effect for 5 years.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Schoberg, that's correct. Like I said, the city staff were intimately involved with the planning and had great input. You can see that in the projects that were proposed. And like you said, Commissioner Schoberg, some of those projects are a carryover from the 2020 plan. But I would like to say too that those projects that were carried over were probably most likely started in some way, shape, or form, through the city departments.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Pat? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
I'll move to approve resolution adopting the 2025 Morton County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We will move on to item number 2, second consideration of ordinance 1480, a zone change from RMH and RH, residential mobile home park, to RMH, residential mobile home.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. If I may, before I start this item, just to back up with what Patrick's saying, the multi-hazard mitigation plan currently is helping the city with a $12 million Lower Hart project that without funding that Patrick works on through that program, we wouldn't be able to apply for through the state. So it's definitely impacting Mandan. And before you is the second consideration of 1480, the zone change. Staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend the approval of the second consideration of ordinance 1480. There has been no significant changes or any comments on this piece. Any questions?
Any questions for Jordan? Oh, thank you, Jordan. Commissioners?
Move to approve the second consideration of ordinance 1480.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. There is no other business. Future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissioners, December 16th, 2025 at 5:30. January 6th, which is my brother's 70th birthday, at 5:30. January 20th, 2026 at 5 p.m. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to your neighbor. Have a wonderful Advent, and it's onward and upward, Mandan. Meeting is adjourned.